Boiling point.
So, Georgia race. Georgia. People are flipping Georgia blue. They're painting in blue with pictures of Bob Ross.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yep.
Seen that?
Yep.
All right. So, the Democrats have won the state of Georgia, meaning now that Kamala Harris, the upcoming vice president of the United States of America, is going to have the vote, the tie-breaking vote in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that means a lot of things for people who care about that kind of thing. Now, it also kind of means something scary for people who are scared. And I didn't actually think I was going to think about this until this exact moment. But what does it mean for people who are scared? We'll touch about that later. How do you feel about the fact that the Reverend and Mr. John Ossoff won the state of Georgia?
I mean, my political views are pretty in the middle as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll see what happens, and I mean, I can't say I know too much about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that's a wise answer.
Yeah,
I think it's a wise answer because I would rip into people who don't know Jack, and I'm not saying I know everything, but who don't know Jack but have a really, 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 really strong opinion and don't know what their opinions mean.
I don't see when.
And when I say rip into them, I mean just question them.
Yeah.
I would just question you.
So what do you think about this? What do you think about
Yeah,
this?
exactly.
And then I'd be like,
I don't know.
what happened.
Yes.
Well, the thing about us is we're Californians and they're Georgians. It's almost like a different culture altogether. We have like no say in how they think or feel about, about the
Exactly.
subjects.
So I think it's important that we look at these guys' website, see what they stand for and what it means for people. I personally, on the 30 feet view looking down, I think that this is a good thing. And I'm not saying it's a good thing because I 100% believe in what these guys stand for. I think that it's a good thing because for some time now, the conservatives have had all three branches of the government, and they got what they wanted for a bit. I know that there are certain things that they did not get, and I can understand the anger there. But now it swings. Like it goes back to the opposite side, and the people who feel like they have certain things that they want to get off their chest, certain things that need to happen, certain things that need to change, then you get that. And I'm not more excited about that. I'm more excited about what happens 2 years from now, 3 years from now, when you get what you want. When you get what you want, does this mean a more positive America because more people have what they want?
Right.
Does that make sense?
That's like what everyone's waiting to see.
Yeah. So right now I'm on electjohn.com. Okay. First thing I notice is you can chat with John Ossoff through Facebook. It's right on his website.
Oh, wow, okay.
And that says something to me about Facebook and their political association. I'm not saying that Facebook is backing him. I'm not saying that.
No,
but
I'm sure he's...
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the moment I see Facebook on there, I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't trust these large tech companies. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I see an image of him and John Lewis. I know that was his mentor. And I see images of him with the people. He's out there. He's touching the people. He's running races. His shirt is sweaty. He's doing what you got to do, you know. So far, it looks pretty good. Let's look at his policy because he sells T-shirts. You could volunteer. There are news about events. And so let's look at his policy. So, holy cow. There's a lot of stuff here. So, you guys choose. He has the economy, healthcare, infrastructure, the environment, criminal justice reform, Roe v. Wade, COVID-19, education, gun safety reforms, immigration, LGBTQ equality, and strengthening HBCUs.
I say healthcare. That affects everybody.
Okay. Healthcare. Let's see what he cares about. In the this pandemic should be a massive wake-up call for those who doubt the necessity of ensuring all Americans have health insurance. The link between health and wealth must be broken. It is essential that every single American has great health care. And Georgia already faced a shocking health crisis with among the highest rates of uninsurance and maternal mortality in the country. In the U.S. Senate, I'll work to make great health insurance a simple, affordable, reassuring reality for all of us. Other countries have achieved this, so can we. Health insurance is too expensive and complex, and protections for women, young people, and pre-existing conditions are under attack. Few plans are available, premiums are high, surprise billing is frequent, and dealing with insurance companies can be a nightmare. Even today, dang, this sounds good. Like, not this message, but the audio. Great. It's great.
That's because you turn the volume up on your headphones.
It sounds so crisp. Man. All right. In the midst of a massive health crisis, the GOP, led by David Perdue, is still working to rip health insurance from tens of millions of Americans. The GOP and David Perdue have also long planned to cut Medicare, putting health care for seniors at risk. Okay, there's not too much left. All right. I'll vote to protect and strengthen Medicare, and I support offering all Americans a public health insurance option as an affordable alternative to private insurance. The public's plans premiums will be affordable for all, and there will be no deductibles for necessary care. Its coverage will be comprehensive, including preventative care, prescription drugs, dental, vision, hearing, mental health, and neonatal and postnatal care. Medicaid expansion and auto-enrollment of the uninsured will ensure all Americans are covered regardless of wealth. Your insurance will be your choice. Americans will be free to maintain exclusively private health insurance or to purchase supplemental private insurance on top of the public plan if they so choose. For those with private insurance, I'll vote to strengthen the Affordable Care Act's protections for Americans with pre-existing conditions, women, and young people. Those protections remain under attack by the health insurance industry and their allies in the GOP. I'll vote to crack down on price gouging by drug companies and make more generic medicine available. I'll work relentlessly to deliver federal funds to build more health clinics and hire more healthcare workers across Georgia, especially in rural and undeserved communities, and solve Georgia's shocking and shameful maternity health crisis. Under my plan, the public option will include higher reimbursement rates for rural hospitals because they are vital assets in our communities. And I'll introduce legislation to expand the U.S. Health Public Service so it can recruit, train, and deploy more medical teams to clinics across Georgia and the nation. Thoughts?
Amen. On paper, I mean, it sounds genuine. Sounds good. I mean, is it going to be like Obamacare where you have to sign up? You have to sign up if you
I didn't like that. Where they penalize you for not having it.
Right.
I thought it was stupid.
I went a full year and some change without medical insurance. How I got in trouble.
Yeah, you got.
Like,
did they take like $2,700 from you?
Yeah, it wasn't 27, but it was up there.
I think they took like $2,500, something like that.
This one sounds a little better. Like you have actually a choice to like, I can take the free stuff.
Because he said that on top of, or no, aside from what private healthcare offers.
Yeah, I like that. I do like that. You know? Like, now, this does not come out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. Georgia, we know, and most of the United States is actually pretty affordable. A lot of United States, land-wise, like mass-wise, is pretty affordable places to live, right? But the cities are pretty expensive in a few states. So let's say New York is rather expensive. A lot of California is rather expensive. It's not fair to say that all of California is really expensive, but California, New York, cities in Texas, cities in Florida, blah, blah, blah. So I personally see that I more question, does this mean that life becomes more expensive because, or maybe not expensive is the right word, or maybe it is the right word, but are more taxes coming out of your weekly paycheck to fund this idea?
I see what you're saying.
Especially if you can or cannot get on it. There should be an option where if you say, listen, I'm never going to apply for this.
If you say, I have Kaiser, I'm good.
I don't want to pay
pull
for
this
this
out of my taxes.
Yeah.
It's like, if in a perfect world, if that were
That would be great.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
But knowing how it's been working for the last I don't know how many years, it's going to come out of their taxes, our taxes.
So, yeah, I don't think that's fair. I get it, but I don't think it's fair. I don't know how much it costs. If it's not a big deal, then it's not a big deal. But I also have an issue with the government, I think. Things that the government provide for us is never going to be the best. Mm-hmm. That's just not what they do. That's why they, send out contracts to private companies that can do the job better than they can. And I remember months ago asking you specifically, I think I asked Sam too, if you had an issue and you could choose, do I want to go to the county hospital or do I want to go to Kaiser? What are you going to pick?
Kaiser.
You're going to pick the private one, right? Because the private one has to uphold its business so that you can continue choosing them. The government is not in competition with anybody. Mm-mm. And so it's not in their books. It doesn't make sense for them to offer you the very best.
No incentive.
Yeah, there you go. There's no incentive for them to offer you something that's better than what Kaiser can do. And I get it. Not everybody can afford Kaiser. So those two options do have to exist. And I bring this up because California is in that state right now where a lot of people are leaving. There's a lot of great things here, right? We have Medi-Cal. We have a lot of things that you can benefit from, but it really does take money out of your pocket. And a lot of people are leaving to go to other states that are not as, I guess I can say kind as California is, because maybe they just feel like, hey, man, I don't want to pay for this anymore.
True. Very true. I don't know. I mean, it's going to come out of the taxes for sure. Mm-hmm. There's probably not going to be an option to opt out of it. Mm. There's... I mean, it just depends on what programs you want to set for, like what he said, prenatal, postnatal.
Yeah, and I know that whole battle. Like right. Child bringing in children into the world in many parts of this country, healthcare system is not great.
Right,
it's not great. I will say this: the drug prices thing. That's something that Trump was working on as well. This is from HHS.gov. Trump administration. He finalizes proposal to lower drug costs by targeting backdoor rebates and encouraging direct discount to patients. I know that's something that has been on his radar, and I know we don't want to credit him with anything, but in the last several years, the prices of things have gone down some, and I do know that. With this attempt that he was doing pretty much all of 2020, I kept hearing about it and I kept reading about it. That is something that he kind of cared about, whether he cared personally or not, but his administration cared about. So I do think that there is that push into the future where healthcare, at least even in the prescription drug range, is going to be more affordable and more accessible to people across the country.
I think it was the transparency thing.
That's another thing, yeah.
He worked with I think it was not NAFTA, but it was the Canada, Mexico thing. Because people go to Canada and Mexico all the time for inhalers and diabetes medication.
Yep. And
I said, hey, show them what they're charging over there, and if you can match it, do it. And that was with hospital bills too. And they were doing a bunch of good things. Mm-hmm. And so we need to I don't think it's going to be a big one size fits all solution to the healthcare. It's going to be hey, we can pick and choose the good and the bad, and slowly build up from there. Because these one bill alls, I guess you call them, one size fits all bills.
It doesn't work. The country's too big, and they're
diverse.
The problems are too different everywhere you go.
Right.
So you can't just make a plan that fits. But I do like that what he said on the website. I do like that. As long as
he hit the key points.
Yeah, he did.
In Georgia.
He doesn't explain how he's going to pay for it, which I think scares me a little bit. But I think it's honorable to want to offer these services to the people. I think it's honorable.
Yeah. It's commendable.
My favorite topic, I'll go to the economy, unless you guys have something else.
No, I was going to ask.
economy.
Okay. Economy.
Yeah, so let's see. The COVID-19 outbreak is causing enormous economic hardship. Tens of millions are losing jobs. Businesses are shuttered. Banks and landlords are threatening foreclosure and eviction. Essential workers are underpaid, underprotected, and underinsured. This crisis is laying bare structural inequity and corruption in U.S. economic policy, similar to 2007-2008 financial crisis. While hardship is concentrated among working and middle-class families and smaller businesses, the fastest and biggest emergency relief has gone straight to the top. The government's financial safety net for Wall Street is vast and instantaneous, while help for ordinary people and smaller firms has been meager and slow. So rather than relying on subsidies for Wall Street as economic stimulus and hoping the benefits trickle down, I'll support policies that help Georgia's family make and save more money. Fast and generous direct emergency relief during economic crisis. Lower taxes for all of the wealthiest Americans.
We're under construction here at the Blackstalgia podcast.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so he said fast and gentle. Oops.
We're going to take a break.
Heck of a bunch of farts. Okay. All right. So he said.
Cut around it. Go ahead.
Yeah. He said, I'll support policies that help Georgia's families make and save more money. Fast and generous direct emergency relief during economic crisis. Lower taxes for all but the wealthiest Americans. Debt-free public college. Free vocation.
We know Kelby's going to want to talk about that when he gets to it.
What do you think about that?
Before I say anything, what do you guys think first before I tear us to pieces?
Okay. Free vocational training. Okay. And healthcare guaranteed at an affordable price. To create millions of jobs, revitalize our economy, and alleviate poverty, I'll support the most ambitious infrastructure program in history. Upgraded infrastructure will serve as the foundation for decades of prosperity, sustainability, and health. Georgia is a growing economic powerhouse in agriculture, logistics, aerospace technology, clean water, and media. Georgia's businesses and entrepreneurs are the crucial engine of job and wealth creation in our state. I'll work to make tax and regulatory compliance simpler and more efficient for our businesses. I'll expose and attack unfair and unethical trade, labor, and environmental practices by overseas competitors that disadvantage American workers and businesses. I think that that's an interesting point you just said, especially after what Walmart did this week, but we'll talk about that in a bit. I'll work to reduce our dependency on Chinese supply chains and strengthen domestic producers. I'll support strong antitrust enforcement, and I'll attack anti-competitive special interest subsidies secured by dominant firms with lobbying power and at the expense of smaller competitors and startups. These policies will support long-term prosperity, competitiveness, and strength. Interesting. He said a lot of do good things for Americans, which means America first.
Yes.
Hey, you can't say that.
I feel like we've heard this
Wait
before.
a second. Whoa.
On a grander scale.
Yeah, you just didn't say those words, but you said, I don't want to work with China. I don't want to send anything else to other people. America first. Okay. The health in the banking system, I don't have a problem with that. I'm American, and America's been too expensive for Americans. Yep. So I'm okay with that. The health of the banking system is vital, but public funds and loans shouldn't subsidize speculative short-term funding on Wall Street. That's why I'll vote to reinstate the Glass-Steagall Act, so federal economic policy serves the long-term prosperity, stability, and financial security of families and productive enterprises, not short-term short-term goals for investment banks, hedge funds, and private equity firms. I've dedicated my career to fighting corruption. I run a business that investigates bribery and abuse of power worldwide. I'm not taking contributions from corporate PACs or congressional lobbyists. As Georgia Senator, I'll be accountable exclusively to the people of our state. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
I thought that was funny. It sounded very similar to a certain other person that said America first. But we're not allowed.
Why would you say that, Chris?
I just want to point that out real quick.
Okay, I need to relax.
Similarities.
We can't say these
But
things.
we're
They're
pro
dangerous.
Mr. John. What's his name? John
Ossoff.
Ossoff.
I'm reading John Ossoff's website, and I know I'm not reading Reverend Warnock's website, but I feel like they are one and the same.
Yeah, they're on the same team.
Yeah, they're on the same team. So they probably believe the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with many of those things. As somebody who has hired out of the country many times and currently more now than before, I've said this many times. America is too expensive for Americans. I can't afford to hire full-time employees in America, but I do have full-time employees outside of America.
And not just employees, like goods, like products. Like if I want to buy a shirt or wholesale shirts, they're more expensive here.
That makes no sense to me. How is it that when we became energy dependent, everything became cheaper because it's here? But how is it that when you make a shirt in America, it's more expensive? I don't get that.
It's some sort of.
There's definitely more to it.
It's some sort of like not reverse capitalism, but like somewhere in the system, it's works against us more than for us.
Yeah. I guess so. I mean, that was the idea of Buy American. I don't remember what time this one. This might have been 2002-ish, 2000 post 9/11, where it was everything was Buy American. Do you guys remember what time period that was?
That was like, I think it was a little past that. It was like, I'd say second term Obama kind of thing. Second term Obama.
Oops.
Take a break.
Okay, welcome back to the show. So we took a quick second just to stop hearing some things. Yeah. All right, so we were talking about economy. Okay, so I like what most of those things he said. Now, I personally am not a big person on we have to tax the rich more because they're rich. I've personally seen enough studies that show that doesn't stimulate the economy. It's even if you tax Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, we'll talk about them later, but more, that doesn't mean that just because more money comes into the government, more money will come into our pockets. And that's how I see it when they say you have to tax them more. Tax them more for what? The government has plenty of money, our money, that they make every second. Like every time we buy something, the government makes money off of it. So I'm not a big person on that. Oh, you're rich, so you have to pay more. For what? Most of the time, people are upset. The average person is upset saying, where's my tax dollars going? Because either their street is messed up or their schools are bad or this, that, and the third. There's a long list of things that people are not satisfied with that I don't think taxing a rich person who may not even live in your city or live in your state even is going to affect you all that much. I just don't see how it happens. And plus, rich people are not just going to say, okay, here you go.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
They're not just going to say that. They have enough lobbyists to go in there and rewrite. They have enough money to do that kind of stuff. And let's say you're one step lower than that on the level of rich and you're not paying a lobbyist to go do that. They can send that money to a different country, put it into a bank account, and then come back when it's more favorable for them. It's just, I don't see them laying down. So whenever you're taxing the rich more, it really does hammer down more on the middle and lower class.
Yep.
Because ultimately they're just not going to pay it. So whatever it is that you thought you were going to get from them, you're going to have to pay for it either way. Especially if they continue saying, well, we need more tax money for this. We need more tax money for that. We need more tax money for all these incentives. Great. A lot of great ideas. But if the rich are not going to pay for it, and those initiatives and those ideas and all those things are still trying to come into fruition, who's going to pay for it?
Exactly.
That's why I don't personally think I don't care. I'm not to say I don't care that you don't pay taxes. It's ridiculous to say that rich people are not paying taxes, because if you're rich, let's say you have employees, you're going to pay payroll taxes. If you are rich and you have property, you're going to pay property taxes. There's all types of taxes, not just income tax. So it's impossible for you to be rich and not pay income tax, or not say income tax, but not pay taxes in general. They're going to get it either way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm not a huge person on that. Like, let's punish you for being rich. The next thing is free college and vocational school.
Thoughts?
Well,
Again, when you say free, it's not free.
it's not free.
Where are you coming from with free? You know what I mean?
I personally have a bar. I went to school. I studied acting. First time around. Second time around, I studied business. If somebody wanted to study acting, I don't want to help you pay for it.
Yeah. I'm on board with that.
Somebody wanted to study. That's not good enough for me.
It's not. It's not. I understand. And I'm not a person that watches a lot of things in general. So I get the argument for people who enjoy their content. During quarantine, everybody was watching things.
Right.
Yes. Thank you, artists.
Yes.
Thank you, artists. However, people still call it the boob tube, the stupid box, the idiot box. Yes, information is passed over to you through these new forms of media, TV, YouTube, all these things. But if we're going to delegate, or if we're going to categorize importance, especially in the last year, as some things as being essential and some things not being essential, to me, an actor, I'm not paying to help you live your dream, especially when it's a risky bet. I don't know if you're going to make it as an actor.
There's a episode of New Girl where Coach and Winston, two of the characters, are helping their friend to go to college. And they say, "Oh, we'll call it an investment." And she starts picking these classes, and they're like, "No, you gotta pick these classes."
Yes,
I was like, "Oh shit."
Yes, like, you want to go be a doctor? Let's talk about what kind of doctor you want to be.
Yeah,
If you want to be a plastic surgeon, booby doctor, I can invest in you as a person. You gotta pay me back for that, but it's not essential. But if you're gonna help people breathe, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem throwing a couple dollars to do that.
But it's a vocational school. So
Okay, so there's college and vocational school.
yeah.
So those are two different types of things.
Right.
Now, people who go to vocational school, sometimes those things are more important in our daily life. Right?
Color.
Exactly.
Right. You have, people who do HVAC. Trades. People.
That's essentially what a vocational school is.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Trade school.
People who are, helping you fix your house, whatever kind of way. Those are useful things that people can use in their everyday life. Now, it's not on me to say that that's essential or not, but I don't have a huge problem helping that out a little bit, but I do know that many vocational schools are private entities in the first place.
It's fair.
But they're usually cheaper, though. Like, out of pocket, they're usually cheaper than the four-year acting school that...
I don't know about that, because to go to Westwood College or to go to West Coast University to be a respiratory therapist is still $45,000. Or to get a certificate, not even a degree at UEI, you still got to pay $33,000.
It's still not.
It's cheaper.
Cheaper, yeah. Like
sure.
You see that one girl, I forgot what the video is. She had $95,000 in debt, and she went for speech therapy. I'm like,
you know what? That job should. I don't know where she lives, but if she lives in LA, New York, somewhere where there's a lot of people, that job should be able to make you a good income.
Good
It
enough.
should.
it should, but there's demand.
That was what I was saying about the property part or the population part.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I understand if you're a speech therapist and you're in a town that has 200 people and everybody speaks properly.
Yeah, everybody's already good.
Everyone's like pretty good.
If you was a speech therapist in Spanish, maybe.
You mean like a translator?
Yeah.
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 But if you move to the big city, now I understand that there's more cost to move to the big city as well, but that should be okay.
It should balance out.
Do your research though.
That's the thing I tell people. Colleges is a situation of demand and supply, not the opposite way around. So I have plenty of friends who have studied African culture, spent their money, they studied it, they learned what they wanted to learn, they got the best possible education that they could. But yes, they are Uber drivers.
Well, that's not saying much. I know a lot of rich people who are Uber drivers.
Sure, but that may not be their primary income,
right.
But they're Uber drivers, and I don't have a problem with Uber drivers, but they do. Hey, man, I'm educated. I studied this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I get it. I understand. And that school, they didn't prey upon you. They just gave you what you asked for.
Yeah.
And you did not do enough research to make the choice to say, I understand that the pickings on the opposite side of this education are slim. So up to you. Just like me, I went to school and I studied acting. I booked some stuff, but I also did not book a lot of stuff. And so I went back to school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I knew that going in at 18. I was like, okay, look, I'm going to go into a career that does not require a degree. And because of how I look, I already knew I'm not going to be like waltzing into the audition room, booking everything. I'm not the like square jawed white boy that Hollywood likes. So I already knew in the back of my head that I have to play my position at other things because this cannot be my one thing, right? Not everybody who looks like me or can fit into this puzzle. And so I wasn't very disappointed. If 5 years go by, I booked a few things, didn't book a lot. There was that point where I was like, dang, man, I wish I could do more, but I can't. So good thing I positioned myself in other places, in other ways to make an income.
But on the same side, there are a bunch of actors, since actors specifically, that are like, no, I'm supposed to do this. I got to do this. Everyone tells me I don't have the face for it. I know I have the face for it. Everyone tells me I don't have the talent for it. I know I have the talent for it.
Yeah, it's just like those horrible...
they're not going to accept the alternative.
American Idol people. And that's what I don't want to help pay for. I'm sorry, but your dream is a dream. It's something that you have to work for and save for and strategize, and then you do it on your own. You got me? Like, that's your dream. It's not my dream.
Can I give you a personal story?
Tell me.
So, like, my parents were not that well off. Didn't have any money. I was like, man, I don't want to let them paying for some school. Because I sucked at school. I was like, I am not going to make it. I'm going to drop out.
It's true. He was bad.
Chris went to school with me. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to join the Marines. And then I found out about the GI Bill. Thank God. And they pay you to go to school, and you pay into it. It's like a little mini like fund you pay into, and then they give back to you later. I was like, okay, I can do that. That's on me. That's not on anyone else. Like, I'm paying for my school technically. And so that's like kind of what you have to think about. Like, oh, if if I'm paying for the school, it shouldn't be on anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I don't want to pay for someone's $90,000 acting degree when they're probably not going to be an actor.
Yeah, it's a risky investment.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a risky investment, and I don't think you have to push that onto somebody else at all. I also understand why. I get like, let's cancel student loans, but what about other loans? What about your car loan? What about your mortgage loan?
Mm-hmm.
Did you why is it that your student loan, and I get it, it's heavy, and I have a lot of student loans. It's stunts your growth as a person depending on what you want to do. I get it. But you signed for it. Chris, you probably don't have a bunch of student loans.
I do not. I went to community college. Yeah. I have my associates in fire technology.
Useful.
Why didn't you go get a bachelor's degree?
I
couldn't get in.
I didn't have the credits or the grades or the GPA. No.
I was just trying to see that one girl.
By halfway through, I had figured out that I wanted to do film.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that if I went to school for film, it wasn't going to get me the experience that I needed to just jump in.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, I was like, I don't need a bachelor's. That's just not my thing. I also don't want the loans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want the process of going through all that. And if I get into a school that's like way more, expensive than like CSUN that's around here,
mm-hmm.
then that's more student loans and that's more shit I got to pay for that I can't afford. I can't afford it.
And you're anticipating that you can't afford it in the future.
I already,
Yeah. Because you just don't know. Yeah, you just don't know what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah. Now, had I pursued being a firefighter, had I continued that, maybe I would have had more in the bank to go back to school and get my bachelor's. Yeah. But by that time, I would have been a firefighter, so I would have been good. So I would have been okay with my career in firefighting.
Yeah. You see, that's the thing that makes sense. For me, I don't put it onto the government or to anybody else to solve my problem. I chose to go to school for acting. I was very aware that I probably won't be the next blank, blank, blank. Okay. If you think about it, it's just like professional sports. How many kids play football or basketball in high school or college? And the percentage of people that make it to the NBA or to the NFL is very small.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with this acting thing. It's not to say that there's no tiers in between where there's working actors who are just, they act and they pay their bills. But even that is not huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's not huge. There's more people who are pursuing than who are thriving.
Yeah.
Oh, always. That will always be the case.
You know what I'm saying? So whose fault is that? I can't jack it. I can't jack it on like, well, we have to forgive this, and so, and I don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
But if you tell me, look, here are the things that are going to move society forward: science, technology, engineering, mathematics, medicine, whatever. All these things. These are the things that push society forward on a daily basis. Either you want this or you don't. I would say I'd want it.
Mm-hmm.
I want it. Me personally, I want it. I wouldn't have a problem going to bed at night because I know that my local hospital has the best blank machine to help me should I not be able to wake up in the morning. But the guy that dresses up as Spider-Man
on Hollywood Boulevard,
and then comes to my hospital room whenever I got my final wish, I'm good.
No,
you got to do that on your own.
You make your own way.
Sorry.
Because it doesn't matter what grades you get in that school. Like, if they don't like you, they don't like you.
That's it. I'm sorry. Now, it may be kind of harsh, but
life is harsh.
Yeah, no, I'm not about it. I wouldn't pay for it either. I just wouldn't.
So that's his economic plan. Like I said, I like some of that stuff. Some of the stuff is eerily
similar.
California?
Similar to some of the things, I'm a big make America affordable to Americans person.
Again.
Yeah. I say it. I'm a big person on that. And I had an experience last year where I was looking for a development manager for the company. And I went first to American companies. And when I tell you, I sat in these meetings on Zoom because of, COVID. I sat in these meetings and they gave me their whole breakdown of how they were going to deliver and they were going to do all these things. I was like, what's the budget here? Like, how much are we paying? And they were like, oh, you're going to save so much money with us. So much money. It was like 15 grand a month. Ouch. What? No. And then I went to the Philippines. People might kill me for this, but I went to the Philippines to get the exact same thing, and it's 2 grand.
Yeah.
And the guy that I hired, he's like rebuilding his house. Because that $12 an hour he makes is like, he's like
a shit ton more. Yeah. And he's even more grateful for it.
My gosh.
He's also doing fantastic work. Shout out to you.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I am a big fan of that. Like, yo, look, these other countries got to go sit down for a bit, especially now. Y'all got to go sit down for a bit. We got to take care of us at home.
We have some things to settle.
Yeah, financially, we have to take care of ourselves. Once we have a little extra, we'll talk about you. Yeah. I went to a church where they were like, look, if you don't have the money to give us offerings, you don't have the money. I like that. Because if you don't have it, I'm not going to put myself in more stress to give to you when I don't have it for myself. Y'all should be giving me.
I'm just doing a church salary. What are you talking about?
That's how I feel.
They gave the offering basket to somebody at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. I started sneaking that money back in my own pocket. I was like, it's not really.
You're supposed to put in. Oh, sorry.
What you mean? Know what you mean? I thought this was charged. This is a blessing.
Yeah.
I did that once for real though.
This guy's evil.
my dad put in $100, and my dad like. I don't have I've had dirty clothes the past 3 weeks. Like what the hell, man?
$100.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Let's do one last one. LGBT equality. All right. So in the Senate, I'll fight for equal rights and equal protection under the law for all Americans, regardless of gender or sexual orientation. I will defend marriage equality and the rights of gay couples to adopt children. I will support the Equality Act and vote.
Big.
Yep.
Adoption.
Is that something that's been rough, tough?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
I didn't know that. I will support the Equality Act and vote to expand federal anti-discrimination statuses to protect discrimination on the basis of gender or sexual orientation. I will oppose efforts to reimpose the ban on military service to openly gay Americans. Any Americans' desire to serve and defend their country should be honored without discrimination. I ain't joining it.
I think that is already a thing.
Is that? I was about to ask you, Sam. Is that?
Yeah, you can serve openly gay.
Legitimately, on when you're out there in either in training and boot camp or out and deployed, is that an issue?
It really isn't. 'Cause I served with gay sailors and Marines. I was like, okay, yeah, like it pretty much it's a base by case basis.
Right.
Like some people won't, some people will.
What does that mean? Some people won't
like you get the people who are like, they're homophobic, and you're gonna get you're gonna get that anywhere you go. But you can serve openly. You can be like, yes, I'm a gay person. It might not work for you because it's a rough environment. Like if you're anything different, you get harped.
If you don't have tough skin, it's probably not a good idea.
Because the people you're saying that the people are going to like they will punch down on them.
They will find something. Like I'm a straight man. I got called, the faggot every day. Like, all right, yeah, this is the kind of world you're in.
I've also hung out with you and at least 2 or 3 other Marines, and I was you gotta have tough skin.
In general.
Yeah.
So
just because they're gay, that doesn't mean they don't have tough skin.
Exactly.
No.
Some gay guy beat the crap out of me one time.
That's not what we mean, but okay.
I didn't have no tough skin then. I was like, yo, stop, yo.
Hey, stop playing.
I was like, stop, sis.
Stop, sis. Shut up, killer.
I was like, queen, please.
You dumb.
Stop with me.
Well, I think that they could do it. What's the problem? But how many are enlisting?
I don't know.
I mean, it's already.
I don't think
1%.
there's a statistic for that right now.
Probably it's like.
No one's counting that.
I don't think that matters. Listen, if you want to die for America, go for it.
I don't care who you are.
Listen, man, if you want to jump in front of that bullet for me, I don't
ahead.
care what you are. Jump.
Yes.
Go for it. I have no problem with it.
You gotta go.
Construction. I'm not even going to cut this out.
No, leave it
I
in.
know you won't.
Leave it in.
I know you won't.
Some episodes,
Someone's gonna be in the car like, "Arr, what is happening on this podcast?"
It's a fart. I'll support strengthening anti-bullying programs for LGBTQ youth, and I will defend and support the safety and human rights of transgender Americans. The LGBT community will be able to count on me to stand with them as a strong and outspoken ally. Okay.
It's commendable. I mean, I feel like every politician running for anything is gonna have that in their campaign. it's
Would they? Let's see if David Perdue had that.
Well, fair enough.
Okay, so he is the guy that did not go to the debate.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, "Yo, y'all serving what at Cheesecake Factory?" I know I had something to do, but I gotta go.
See, that's the problem. I'd be that politician. Oh, we're having it at Cheesecake Factory. I left my gift cards at my auntie's place. Can we meet at Denny's?
What the fuck is up, Denny's?
Let's compare it. Let's see. He has a lot of stuff on his website, but we'll do. Okay, we start off with healthcare. His stuff is way shorter. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, no.
I don't want it. Okay, next. All right, his healthcare. David Perdue, even though he lost, said, "Since coming to the U.S. Senate, I've done everything I can to ensure Georgians and Americans have access to affordable, high-quality care. I believe in protections for Americans with pre-existing conditions, and I authored the PROTECT Act to do just that." Damn, that's kind of a flex. I wrote that.
Excuse me.
Work to pass the 21st Century Cures Act, streamlining regulations to get life-saving drugs to market faster and cheaper. I'm working with President Trump and the Senate to ensure transparency in prescription drug prices. I thought he was going to say something I really wasn't going to like.
That is kind of a flex that it happened. So
It's a
Wait,
little
that's
bit
the
of a
whole.
flex.
That's it. That's the
That
whole.
was his whole thing. He was like, "Yo, look, I already been doing it."
Yeah, you
That's
got
what I
this.
did.
You know, the usual.
Yeah, man, I'll just keep doing it. It's cool. I ain't got a problem with it. I mean, national budget. His national budget / balanced budget is one sentence.
Go ahead.
I support a balanced budget amendment to fix the congressional budget process and rein in our national debt.
Right on.
okay.
No, that's crazy.
I'll fix it. Just trust.
I got it. Yeah.
And he does not have anything about
LGBT.
LGBTQ.
Really?
No.
Dang.
No, he's just
See,
like, no, we good.
I said that everybody's talking about it, or everybody has it in the campaign because it's starting to become more not aware,
A norm.
more of a norm, more of a realization that human rights is important to talk about. It's important to fight for because it's not equal everywhere.
Now, somebody brought this up to me the other day. What are human rights? And I couldn't answer.
Love, life, pursuit of happiness.
I mean, fair enough. That's
Say it again?
Love, life, pursuit, like whatever the Declaration of Independence is, like the
it's
life, liberty,
Love, life.
Sorry,
What
life,
is this,
liberty,
a white girl's bedroom?
pursuit of happiness?
eat, pray, love.
Well, that is a human right.
Say it again?
Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness.
Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Okay.
And that pretty much covers all the bases.
Is healthcare a human right?
Important. Is healthcare a human right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's part of the life.
Okay.
Depends.
And the private and the private healthcare and the government healthcare.
Start over.
The private healthcare and the government healthcare fall under the liberty because you have the liberty to choose. You want private healthcare? You want public healthcare? The pursuit of happiness
is that liberty? I don't think that's what the liberty part means.
I think liberty.
I mean, obviously not.
Right to be left alone if you want to. Like
Right,
liberty to do what I want. Leave me alone if I want.
Liberty, like religious freedom.
Yeah.
If we're gonna talk about LGBTQ community, freedom to be, because I personally, I'm personally a big person on that. Freedom for LGBT, freedom, religious freedom. Those two things have to exist.
Yeah.
I don't care if some religions may not like the lifestyle or whatever it is that you can call it on the LGBTQ community side, but that's not the basis of their religion. They're not here to hate them. So exactly. Both have to exist.
They can't bleed into the other.
That's difficult to do, though.
What is it that you're saying?
To not bleed into the other.
What does that mean?
In Christianity, I think they're debating right now. They say, "Oh, you're not allowed to be gay." Whatever, Leviticus, and then
Leviticus.
The books,
the fun one, the fun one.
Books.
Okay.
And people take that serious as, oh, since the Bible says this, it's part of my religion. And they kind of reach over and bleed into the LGBTQ community. Say, oh, since it's my religion, I have the right, God-given right, so to speak, not really, to oppress you, which is false.
See, that's the thing. We're going to get into this whole private entity thing. We'll come to it. We'll get to it. Okay. There's a lot to talk about.
Stuck around.
But is health... I asked that question because healthcare is not something that exists out of the ground. It's not like air. Somebody has to do the work in order for you to get the healthcare. Somebody has to find the cure. Somebody has to build that machine. Somebody has to use their genius to create the thing that benefits you.
There's an exchange of goods.
Yeah, exactly. Just because you're sick, morally, I feel bad that you're sick, but that doesn't mean that I'm holding back air from you. Air is something that we all have.
I don't think it's that you're holding it back. I think you just have the human right to if the opportunity is there, you get the opportunity to.
Well, that already exists. If you are sick and you go to hospital cannot deny you healthcare.
Right.
They can't.
Right.
So the bigger issue is the price of healthcare.
Okay.
The cost of healthcare. Mm-hmm. So I think it's already been deemed that healthcare may be a human right because a hospital cannot reject you for care.
It's how much they're going to charge you.
Bingo.
To fix you.
Yes. Is it fair that it's free? What about all the people that spent their time and their energy and their expertise and their schooling and all this stuff to create this, to fix this problem that you have, which is what business is, problem solving.
Yeah. It's a good point. It's hard to say. It's so complicated in that aspect.
You better put that screw in one time. I'm sorry, people listening.
It's a double-edged sword because on the one hand, yes, it is a human right to be able to get fixed and be able to pay for it. Because if you can't pay for it, it's a human
right to be able to. It's a human right to be able to get fixed and be able to pay for it.
In other words, it's a human right to get fixed. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. It's to get medicine or feel better,
get healed,
and not have to live with the debt of that for the rest of your life. Like if I get cancer and I get chemo and all this kinds of stuff and I don't have, well, let's say I have like private healthcare, but there's still such a huge deductible or a huge whatever it is that I get my cancer cured, but now I have to spend the rest of my life paying off the people that
you gotta make meth in Albuquerque, man.
Well, my argument to that is and I don't know if it's really my argument, but the argument to that is if you are an adult, you got cancer, there are different options that you have as a person making decisions on how that does not have to be your future. Now, the choice will be yours on what you do, number one, for work, how much money you save, if you purchase insurance that can cover these things. The idea, which I think goes back into that liberty, is do I want to make these choices that will affect me later on in the future?
But it wasn't my choice to get cancer.
Right, but it is your choice on how you will deal with it.
So if I was, I'm trying to think of like a generic occupation. I fell on hard times. I couldn't afford college. I ended up being an Uber driver or a taxi driver or whatever. I'm a driver.
Yes.
I've been driving for years because it's been helping me at least pay the rent. I'm trying to get back to school, but I can't save up enough money because of my utilities, because of my this, because of my that.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, somebody left something toxic in my car, and I got sick from that.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's costing me thousands and thousands of dollars to pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
If I can barely make the deductible and I get cured, now I got to spend my entire life trying to pay this off on more driver money because it's the only thing I know how to do is be a driver. And I can't go back to school because now I got more bills and more debt and more charges up the wazoo to pay off my healing from this toxic sludge that somebody left in my car.
Okay, so that goes back to the argument of how valuable is school. Why is school the only option?
That's fair.
Especially when people say school is not that valuable.
Right. But if you want to do like, if I want to make bucks to pay off the debt and also move out of my 1-bedroom studio apartment, whatever it is, let's say I want to do like, I mean, I could try to do the entrepreneur route, but you got to spend money to make money.
Yes.
So in that regard, it's like, where do I start?
So you're saying you're not educated enough to...
Well, it's like I could go to a seminar. I could ask somebody. I could go fucking DM Gary Vee if I want to. But
yes,
somebody's got to tell me, do this because it's going to make you money. So you can make enough money to pay off your toxic sludge medicine and get enough money to build yourself a little capital.
You know what somebody told me about a situation very similar to this? They said you should be able to afford a list of insurances if you were to deduct certain expenses from your life, some that you don't need.
Like,
I'm going to give you the ones that everybody says, but I don't think everybody has these things. So I'm just repeating right now. But they were like, you shouldn't be able to have, or you shouldn't be able to complain when you're buying Jordans, when you're buying this, that, and the third, and you don't consider purchasing health insurance instead, or life insurance instead. So for me, that's not really my argument. I do feel like there is a level in me that says, like, I have compassion for that. I've been a person who was sick and needed surgery. I wasn't, the richest person in the world, and the state came and helped me out. I get it. And I understand not everybody is going to make the same amount of money. Like, not every, and I think that's a magical thing. I think it's a good thing.
right.
But on the other side of that, there is a little bit of personal accountability as to how we can prevent these things from happening. And I think the next generation will know that better than we do. Or at least
hopefully
like better than our parents did.
Fingers crossed.
I guess. But to me, it's like I'm supposed to like if I want to be like an actor,
Mm-hmm.
and I can only take what is it, like a night job, waiting tables.
Yep.
I'm supposed to have the forethought of getting cancer at the same time, or
Yes. Yes, you should.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean,
I guess so. I don't know, but I guess so.
Well,
on a certain level, it makes sense. On another, it's like I'm never in my last thought is I'm gonna get cancer tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I guess that's the prep. That's the point of being prepared.
And like if you're gonna be an actor and you live here in California, you can get Medi-Cal.
Mm-hmm.
So there's at least a bit of an out. I don't know how much that's gonna cover your cancer costs.
Medi-Cal is great,
but
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's amazing because they are backed up a lot. Once you actually get
that's like with anything. That's,
you know what I mean. Like once you actually get the treatment, it's fine. But yeah, you may have to wait 8 months for it. Might be dead. But
yeah, I was gonna say, what if cancer's not gonna wait for me?
But by the time they get to it, they'll be like,
I'm gonna wait for you.
Man, yo, make this guy alive again. He got
Let me
rent to
stop
pay.
the lymphoma.
He's
for
in
you.
a play.
Oh, you on Broadway? I'll wait for you, bro.
Did you hear about that, by the way? Law and Order.
Law and
SVU?
Order is hiring every Broadway actor they can
Man.
That was a joke.
to keep them going, to pay them. I think that's great.
That's cool. I'm an actor.
That was
That's
a
how
joke.
all actors start anyway.
Broadway?
Law and Order.
Law and Order.
Law and Order.
No. What
CSI.
about Ice-T?
Which
That's
one?
true.
Ice-T was on SVU.
Was he? Well, you know, he's like one of the main characters. But every actor is like a dead person on Law and Order, CSI.
Yeah, if
all
you don't
these
play
court shows.
a blue person in a morgue,
Yep.
you didn't make it.
Yeah, you're not an actor. You freaking nerd. Yo, you know what actress I like now?
Go ahead.
Her name is damn, I forgot.
What movie?
She was in the movie The Setup,
The Setup. Oh, I know.
2018 version.
Set it up.
Set It Up.
Set it up.
Lucy Liu.
No, the
No,
other
no,
one, the
the
young
sister.
one. Zoe Dutch.
Zoe.
Deutch.
Oh yeah, we were talking about her.
She's great.
I like Zoe Dutch.
I like her face.
Just keep.
Hey, we talked about her last week.
We did. I'm bringing her up again.
Yeah.
Hopefully she
She's
likes
cool.
to watch the show. All right. Okay. Georgia wins. For the most part, I kind of like their ideas, but I do challenge them.
Follow through.
As you should.
I challenge them, and I think that that's fine, you know. And I think that, oh wait, David Perdue's economic plan. He has a paragraph. Okay, over the last 3 years, we've proven that what we believe in actually works. We rolled back erroneous regulations and taken action to unleash our energy potential. We cut taxes for Georgia families and small businesses. Love that. Rolled back Dodd-Frank regulations that had crippled community and regional banks. And since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, we secured billions in relief for Georgia small businesses and workers through the PPP program, saving them more than 1.5 million jobs. Our winning agenda created the greatest economic turnaround in the U.S. history. Prior to COVID-19, we saw the lowest African American, Asian American, Hispanic American unemployment rates ever recorded and the lowest overall unemployment rate in 50 years. Now, as we continue fighting COVID-19, prioritizing the health of the American people and relief for our economy, I know our policies can do it again. Now, a lot of people have a lot of favorite topics. My favorite topic is economy. Like I love that subject because capitalism has built the stairway to get a lot of I like
The
it.
bad word.
It's built a stairway to take a lot of brown and black people out of poverty.
Oh yes.
Okay, and they've done it in many different ways. You know, I know that we push STEM, but you know, Madam C.J. Walker is not the last person to become a millionaire or whatever through health or through like skincare or hair care and these types. Like we literally took our culture and turned it into billions and trillions of dollars, and that only happens through capitalism.
Yeah.
So I like that kind of stuff. I like creating. I like the hustle. I like the grind. I like that. I'm a big person on The government does not need to over-regulate you because it creates this
Curve.
tough barrier of entry when you are a startup or when you are trying to get out of that I'm the only person that works here and I just need X amount of dollars so that way I can start building a team. Those regulations, those taxes, all those type of things, they shut you down. Especially when we don't know where our tax money goes. I mean, we know technically on paper they tell you where it goes, but year after year we see local and federal governments that are not effective and efficient with our money. So for me, you don't need it anymore. You're not allowed to have my money anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll give you a couple dollars.
Yeah.
But like, leave my money with me. Now, with that being said, that goes back to the whole healthcare thing and the school thing and all that kind of stuff. It's one or the other. Either we are building our wealth and then we'll be able to pay for the best X, Y's, and Z's out of our own pockets, or we stay in this kind of area, mush, and we rely on the government to help us live our daily lives. I personally think that there needs to be less of them sticking their hands into our stuff. Yes, it's understandable. There is that area where you're building a business, you're building your brand, you're building your this, you're building your that. Fine. The government can come and help you. But once you are out of that range, you should not be benefiting from things that the government's offering you. What, that goes back to the rich people. Rich people are not taking out unemployment.
Nope.
So what should they pay for it?
Fair enough.
Rich people are not going on to the county hospital. So why should they pay for it?
That's fair enough. They're going to graze.
You know what I'm saying? So, and they do. They still pay for it. So I think that it does need to be on this kind of sliding scale. Make less money, we got a little system that helps you out. But the more you make, the less help you need. And that's how that should go. And that's how it does go. So I'm not upset with his paragraph on economy. I know he's an evil white supremacist, as they like to say. But, I know. I said that. Okay, so